que ce petit gueule, on y pense forcément un petit peu, mais là aujourd'hui, clairement, quand on est dans cette situation, c'est le titre maintenant que les athlètes veulent. Et...
Welcome to a new week. I think this one is 47. The year is winding down, and it's a gray and nasty day outside. And this prompts me to begin my days slower. I tend to spend more time listening to books before I get into my other work. And today I'm listening to No Mud, No Lotus by Thich Nhat Hanh. And he's talking about the importance of owning your environment, transforming the space around you, even in a small way, so that you feel like you have some sense of agency in your immediate world. Even if you can't affect the world at large, which you can't, you can affect your local environment. You don't need to affect your town. You don't need to affect your family. You just need to affect your local immediate environment. And as I was driving in this morning and listening to him talk about this, I was noticing all of the houses that I was passing, and that many of the houses here in Vermont were built by the people that originally lived in them. And I'm really lucky to have grown up in an environment like this. I was introduced to the process of building when I was a little kid. My dad and the rest of my family built our first house out of stones that were collected from streams and highway cuts. And it always made sense to me that you build your environment. So wherever I've gone throughout my life, I've always done something to build some kind of sense of ownership into wherever it was that I lived. When I was in college, I would build these infrastructures, I'm going to call it because I don't have a better name. I would put beams in the four corners of the room, and then I would create a grid on the ceiling and sometimes even walls, and I would modify my dorm rooms so that they felt like something that I was building. And I did this when I lived in Los Angeles as well. I would completely transform the spaces that I lived in without tearing down any of the structure that was there, but just adding to it. And as I'm listening to him talk about this, I realize how lucky I am that I grew up in a place and with people that felt that they could affect their environments in a really powerful way. They could create their own built environment, which is what I've done here in the studio. I'm always transforming and constructing something in here. Anyway, I know that not everybody had the same opportunities or education that I did in this regard, but it's never too late to start. There are lots of videos on YouTube that show you how to do basic building projects, and there's always some way that you can modify your environment to make it feel like you. So if you have some building experience, do something. Create something in your environment that makes it feel like yours, that makes it feel like you're transforming something, that you're creating a nest or a nook, not just a place where you sleep and hang out on the computer or the TV, but a place that feels like yours. With that said, I'm going to take a few steps on a shelving project here in the studio so I can be better organized. All right, I'll see you soon.
C'est vrai que ce petit gueule, on y pense forcément un petit peu, mais là aujourd'hui, clairement, quand on est dans cette situation, c'est le titre maintenant que les athlètes veulent. Et Martin, c'est avant tout à ça qu'il est en train de penser. Là, Martin, clairement, il court pas pour la deuxième ou la troisième place. Là, il court pour le...
As I sit here in my educational bubble listening to No Mud, No Lotus by Thich Nhat Hanh, I feel this resistance to opening the door and going out into the cold. I only have to walk like 50 feet. And I've already been out this morning getting wood into the house. So I've been in the cold, and yet I still have a resistance to leave my little warm bubble and get out there. It's fascinating how the mind keeps resetting itself to a new norm. And once it has found a low energy state in that new norm, it doesn't want to let go of it. allostasis, where we adapt to new normals all the time and then stay there because it's more energy efficient to remain in the car than it is to go back out there and adjust to the cold again. But that's what I'm gonna do. 1, 2, 3, go. 2 piers right here. And if we go around the corner, where's the pier that I just put in today? So if I back up into the cat poop zone, you can see that pier and that beam needs to be jacked up, but 2 piers in. Thought I was going to be waking up to snow, but it looks more like slush. Snowing when I went to bed. Taking an extra moment in the car, listening to the rain. I'm finishing up the book No Mud, No Lotus. I've got like 10 minutes to go. By Thich Nhat Hanh. And I love a lot of his work, but this is not some of his best work. So I wouldn't tell you not to listen to this, but it's not great. It's decent, but it's not great. So I'm gonna go upstairs, do some early elliptical and some polling machine and some writing. I've got a heavy night of coaching ahead of me, a lot of calls. So I'm gonna try to bottom weight the day, but I'm not gonna force myself to do anything, no pressure. Just, I'm gonna see what I can do to gently get myself to move in certain directions, and whatever shows up, and that'll be okay. The homemade tofurkey reveal. Ooh. As Homer Simpson might say, dope!
Oh, I think it worked.
So it's a faux turkey, not a tofurkey.
It feels cooked.
It looks like it's going to get up and say something.
It does.
Good morning, and to those of you in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. I'm coming into the studio to get some work done before I head home and help out with the vegan gravy, using a recipe from my friend Rory Friedman from her book Skinny Bitch in the Kitch. Anyway, I just started a new book, Forever Strong by Gabrielle Lyon, which is starting out as a kind of a resume. And a lot of people do this, especially if they're doctors and they're promoting a new way of looking at something. So she's telling us basically her credentials for the past 10 minutes and why she's specially positioned to deliver this information to us. And maybe you have to do that, I don't know, but to me it's kind of annoying. And I am now going up to the studio, gonna walk up the stairs backwards and start my day before the family chaos begins. Just finished another listening session to Forever Strong by Gabrielle Lyon, and I'm 40 minutes in, and this is an example of a book that the author should not narrate. Her delivery is terrible and annoying. It's really grating. I'll get through it, but it's unfortunate. It's also unfortunate that the first 40 minutes is essentially a sales pitch where she's going to tell you all these amazing benefits that you're going to get. And I never trust a book that starts out that way. A book that promises things before delivering anything. Deliver me something and then later tell me how this might be of value. She's also firmly against a plant-based diet. And in her mind, it seems there's no possible way I could succeed on a plant-based diet. So we'll see where she goes, but it's pretty suspect at this point. Oh, it's a little Wu-Tang coming to see me. Yeah. Can you give me some rubs? Oh, thank you, Woo. Thank you, little Woo Tang. Oh, rub-a-dub. Rub-a-dub. What you doing, Woozles? What you doing, Woozles? Cute little girl. So cute. Yeah, you're so cute. Everything on the table here is vegan. And the Gardein turkey thingy and my sister's homemade tofurkey, faux turkey. For most people in the United States, today is Black Friday, but for me, it's Food Coma Friday. I'm going to spend the first few hours of my day getting over the trauma that I created yesterday by consuming too many vegan yum-yums. So, gentle start today. And it's kind of ironic because I'm listening to the book Forever Strong by Gabrielle Lyon, and she's talking about overconsumption of food leading to metabolic disorder and dysfunction in muscle. And for most people, Thanksgiving is just that. It's a holiday of excess, a holiday of impairment. So today, I'm going to go upstairs and be extra gentle and move as often as I can. Oh, and by the way, last night I was on the treadmill doing Bigfoot Light for, might have been an hour and 40 minutes. It was a lot. I think it was the longest session I'd ever done, just to kind of mitigate the effects of what I'd eaten. And that helped a lot, but more movement today. Okay, here we go. On mornings when I'm feeling kind of slow, the last thing that I want to do is go up the stairs, let alone go up backwards. But it's not desire that's getting me up the stairs right now. It's my feet. And I just let my feet do what they know how to do. I don't need to tell them. They just know. They're pretty smart. And this isn't that bad. It's not as bad as I was imagining it would be. The part of me that requires will or want or motivation, that part isn't necessary. Just point your feet towards the stairs. That's it. That's all you need to do. This is fine. I'm tired, but this is okay. I can do this. So can you. I've gotten some good movement in today and I'm feeling much better. Food coma is gone. My digestive tract feels normalized again. And now I'm going to get myself out to roller ski. It's kind of windy outside and it's gray and the roads are a tiny bit wet, but I need to get out there and do some ski-specific training. What I'm going to work on today is getting my knees together before I push off. Got to try to bring the leg that's not gliding, bring it underneath me so that my knees touch, and then I switch my weight and press off on that knee right underneath me. So instead of moving my body side to side, I'm bringing my legs underneath me each time. So I'm gonna bring the drone out, do some filming, and see what it looks like. I'm a little concerned about Wolfie. She's got a really puzzled look. It's a chilly Sunday morning and I'm spending a moment here in the warm educational bubble listening to Forever Strong by Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, and she's very much against a vegan diet or even a plant-based vegetarian diet. And she's also anti-carbohydrate, even if it comes from high-quality fruits and vegetables. This book is all about protein. And she keeps mentioning her name on things like the Lion Protocol, the Lion RDA, and the whole book sounds like a sales pitch. And she's clearly biased in building straw men when she discusses plant-based diets. She'll present the worst possible plant-based diet and then say that they don't work. That's a straw man tactic. Anyway, there's some good information about protein in here, but she's clearly selling you something. Going to take you into the hole and show what I'm doing today. All right. So I've got 3 concrete piers in, and I've got a lot of supplemental beams here because these guys are kind of punky and rotten. So on each one of these beams, I put an additional 2x6. And then I've got these beams here on top of the piers, which I've got to shim and then jack up because you can see they're not meeting yet. This one is meeting at the end, but everything needs to be jacked up. And I've got 2 beams married together here with more bolts on the other side. So that's what I'm working on now so that I can take this dirt out of here. Because that's all that's holding up this corner of the house. And as you can see, that's bad. So once this is all stabilized, I can remove this dirt and then I can put another pier right here. And then in the hole, I've got to crank up that central beam. I've got to redo the cinder blocks that were there. I thought I could use the existing base, but it's not level. So I got to take all that out and level it and put in a pier on either side. And then continue digging all the way through in there and out the other side. Because once I shore up this side over here, I'm going to block my access. So that's what I am doing. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. That's what it used to look like. The house was just laying on top of the ground like this. And you can see that beam there, or that one there. The dry rot is collapsing that beam into the cinder block, like everything is falling apart. You can see the dry rot here in this board too. So we're going from this to this, and I love it. Question is, how do you get the cinder blocks into the hole? Best method I've found is on top of my legs, which is a great workout. My God. Shoulders too. All right, 4 in. 14 to go. Hardest part of this is leveling the ground underneath before you put these in. That takes like 30 minutes of putting in paver sand and then hammering it down with a cinder block, which is heavy. Actually, the hard part was chipping away at the frozen earth right here with the claw of a hammer, because it's been in the teens every night for quite a while now. And the ground is frozen solid, so I have to chip tiny pieces off with a hammer until I break through the top 3 or 4 inches of frozen ground, and then I can pull away the clay easier. But that was a workout. All right, that's all you're going to see for now. The result of today's work is another pier next to the one that I already had in there. So it's shimmed up. And it's stable now. I don't have to worry about this corner collapsing, so I can remove that remaining dirt and then put something right there on the very corner. We are at the end of another week, and this was a pretty good week of training. Ended up with 22 total hours. Last week was 23, so I'm going to be over 90 hours for the month of November if I keep this up. Let me show you what I did. On Monday, I still wasn't feeling all that great, so just some gentle neutral pull-ups, and I tried L-sit pull-ups with neutral hand grips, and those are awesome. See if I can bring more of those in. Tuesday, knees to bar, and I'm using my legs in more of an L position as I do those, so that was actually really tough. Some pretty easy dips. On Wednesday, pull-ups, doing pretty comfortable, easy, and then decided to throw on 38 pounds with an immediate set of 5 or 6 afterwards. Then did 58 pounds, a set of 3 of those, and then another set of 2 of those, plus some 20-pound weight vests. And the last set, I did the 58 pounds and immediately followed it with 4 with the 20-pound vest. I'm also doing some horse stance, see if I can bring that back in on a regular basis. And some pretty good sets of polling. B2 with a high tempo. That was a good workout. Thursday, cable triceps, very heavy weight. It's a good burn, and I'm starting to bring some regular push-ups back in. 20 is pretty easy. On Friday, 30 minutes B3 on the polling machine. That was tough. Saturday, this was a tough day. Lots and lots of polling. That was an hour and 50 minutes. And going pretty hard. Then dips, I broke my old man record, a set of 26, followed by 2 sets of 20, and 26 was not my max. Easy knees to bar, more push-ups. Again, 20 is super easy, and that's exciting. And then today, I'm recovering from the hard polling workout, so super gentle neutral pull-ups, knees to bar, and very, very easy on the polling machine. So moving forward in the week to come, I'm going to try to keep my volume high. It would be great if I could get another week between 22 and 24 hours. I'm having a wisdom tooth out on the 30th, which is just a couple days away. So I'm going to try to build up early in the week and then taper a little bit around the wisdom tooth extraction. So then I won't have any more wisdom teeth on the bottom. This one is getting impacted and it's open, so it's only a matter of time before it gets infected, so they just want to take it out. Anyway, so that's what's coming. More foundation work to come. Hopefully I can finish that up in a week or so and focus on my stuff instead of house projects. All right, I will see you in the next one.